again, thank you so much for meeting with me because the idea for us was to, of course, to talk to our clients and to see how you guys are doing. But at the same, wouldn't it be cool if we could uh promote you in any way, like show others what you do? And yeah, so that was my initial my other thought, and see how you are doing in France. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad we're getting to speak because I can see how you try to connect with the clients and how you share everything out with people who are considering making this, big choice and big decision to move. And it's really helpful to hear people's perspective.
Yes. Yes, and I can understand that when you are still back at home, you
Mhm.
if you can imagine, but you
Mhm.
can never be sure. Like, and it would be great and very helpful to hear it from the horse's mouth, to just to hear from people who did it, like you did it. So I wanted to ask you first, like, Angela, like, and Damien too later, but tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from, and what brought you here? Why France?
Right. Okay, so I'm one of those third culture kids. I'm French American and I mostly grew up in Spain, and New York in the States. So I had never actually lived in France as an adult or even as a teenager. Um, as my career sort of progressed in the US, I always wanted to move back, even though I'd never lived here. So that's always been one of my goals. And
Me,
yeah.
Okay,
Go
Damien,
ahead.
tell us.
me, I married this girl, and we've been
That's
together
your
since
career.
college. You know, we've been together since college, and in college, I learned French because I'm with this girl, and I wanted to be able to say, "Hello, madam, nice to meet you," to her grandma. So that was an important thing for me to be able to learn the language and make sure that I could be able to be a part of her family as much as I possibly can. And so now we live here.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And he's like a New Yorker, born and bred. So this is a big move for the dude here.
Born and bred in Manhattan, in the Bronx. You're not going to find a more New York guy than me. And if you do, me and him are cool. So it's nice to be able to explore life with someone else in an entirely different framework.
But have you visited Paris before you moved here?
Oh yeah, we've visited plenty of times. We visited her family
Yeah.
at least 5 or 6 times beforehand. So we are familiar with the city. But living here and visiting, they're two totally different things.
Yeah.
All right. And I wanted to ask you, like, what were you doing before, and how does it translate to what you're doing right now? Like, how was it like? Is there any connection between what you did professionally before, and because you started your own business here, so maybe you can tell us a little bit more
Sure.
about
I think
this.
you should kick it off.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I'll
Yeah.
do it. So in the States, I was an actor. I was working to be on TV longer than 30 seconds, as I would say jokingly, but I've done 3 dozen commercials with folks like Elizabeth Banks, Kevin Bacon, Shaquille O'Neal, Christina Applegate. Like that was my job. And at some point, the business changed. And as the business was changing and it became more and more difficult to make your actual living, it just kind of got to be to a point where it's like, look, what else is there in life other than chasing the Hollywood dream down? And it's like, well, I got this gal, and I am also now French because I got this gal and I know how to speak well enough. And so now what do you wanted to move back to your girl? Let's go.
Well, I also think that part of it is as his career was sort of expanding and becoming more entrenched in Los Angeles, he started a YouTube channel and he was because in order to get work, you have to make work. So he had an online presence, and that sort of, like I said, got more work and put him a little bit closer towards that communications aspect of the acting and entertainment world. So it sort of made sense to keep those connections and keep that experience when looking to move and establish yourself in a foreign country.
Okay,
Which isn't a foreign country, but
to you, no, but to him, kind of.
To me, certainly.
yes.
I'm just a guy along for the ride, and because I enjoy this person and her company and the love that we share. And in order to be able to maximize that, learn the language, son. In order to maximize that, also, hey, we live here now.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you do now? What is the business plan for France, for Paris?
Okay.
So for me, the business plan is continuing to work with various clients. So I have multiple sclerosis, and a lot of the folk who have MS, they watch my YouTube channel. They know that I'm in this on the scene working with pharmaceutical clients, and pharmaceutical clients come to me to understand the patient voice and to understand what's important to patients. So I already have a client out here now. Now, thanks to you, that I have the business structure properly. One of my clients is like, "Oh, great, you have this number now. Great, I can work with you now. One of my people will be in touch with you." So that's what I'm doing. We're still trying to figure it out. We've only been here 4 months, so it's still kind of new. But you guys have been a leg up, aiming to figure out the fiduciary responsibilities of being an adult human being in France.
Yeah.
So your business is up and running right now.
Yeah, we are Washington Boulevard. Communications and administration. No, administration and communications for
So
you.
who is the administrator? I think I can understand. I can guess, but who is the administration? Who is the
I'm the
communication?
administration.
Administration, communications.
So
I
I think
don't get.
to share out a little bit, so my work background was in is in museums and museum administration, a little bit of education, but I was always sort of the person who kept an office running or kept my boss's business running, right? So I was able to bring that sort of head to the work that I'm doing right now, which is supporting a travel agent. So I'm getting to do the most fun part of my old job, which was the travel stuff. And it's giving me an option to sit back and reflect on, where does my career go for the next phase of being. I've never been a freelancer, so I'm relying on this guy to have that sort of light mentality while I'm trying to do all of the bureaucratic stuff.
Yeah, and it must be something. So it's doubly new for you because it's the first time you are a freelancer, and also you do it in France.
Correct. Yeah.
So what were the biggest surprises about the French business culture that you encountered so far, to both of you? Like,
In a lot of ways, the word bureaucracy is a French word, and you really don't understand what that means until you are in France. And I say that jokingly because you can go to the right office, but did you go there at the right time? As a matter of fact, you need to go to the other office, and I'm not going to say any information to you. And so all of that, the nuances of the bureaucracy have been something that we have been continuing to figure out and continuing to know that it's a factor in moving forward.
Well, and as an admin, I kind of dig the bureaucracy. What I found is that French business culture is is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything is sort of explained. Like you can go to a website and find, click on a couple of buttons and filling in your particular specifics. And here's a clear description of the steps that you should be taking, which doesn't exist in the United States in that way. So even though you do have to file the forms in triplicate and have a document that you didn't think you needed, at least there's a framework for that you're supposed to follow, and eventually you'll have a success.
Okay. Okay. So this is from the admin standpoint, but and it's very interesting. I didn't know that there is not really a lot of framework, like forms available in the US. So this is from the admin point of view, but from dealing with clients and really like the core of your business, when you are talking to your clients, you're getting potential clients. Do you see the difference between doing this in the United States and in France?
I mean, she's looking at me. I'm saying that it's all people, and I think that's where the communications element in it comes in handy for me because I show up my biggest full self, and then I taper off accordingly to who the client is and to what they want. So it's not really the case of, oh, I'm in another land and things are different. It's like, no, I'm in another land. Let's figure out how things work here so that I can do what I can to the best of my ability within their frameworks so that we all can work together and have the best outcome for you, client. This is your business, and I'm happy to be here with you and for you. So let's figure out how to do that together in the best way.
So what I hear is you saying like people are people everywhere, and we're working with
People are
people.
people.
Yeah, but at the same time, be having your ears and eyes open and listening and being open to other people's way of doing because it might actually be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that you they say that the French have a certain way of of politeness and the culture around politeness. And I found that you still have to say your bonjours, you still have to you know um, you're still trying to connect with your client, but it's within this framework of formality that is actually really different from the US, I would say. And that's an interesting difference, cultural difference, to step lightly to avoid, insulting somebody by being too familiar, for example, you without even knowing it.
I see that a lot. We have some American colleagues at the office, and usually when I get email from them, it's like, Justina, um, comma, this is the presentation. Let me know your remarks. Signed, like best, someone. And it's a perfectly like New York style communication. I get the same message from a French person. Dear Justina, I hope you enjoyed this sunny weather last weekend. Me and my family, we went to the forest. At the occasion, let me invite you to discover the presentation that I put in this attachment and blah, 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 blah. Please accept
Yep.
my sincere, and this is the same, we are at the same level of familiarity with both people. And the message says exactly the same thing. Here's the presentation, take a look at it, tell me what you think. But there is a lot of extra, very nice things happening with this French way of saying, and it's everywhere. I can see it in every aspect. You go to buy a baguette, you have to ask how the lady is and how was her weekend and does she enjoy the weather or does she hate the weather or something. It's like it's always the same. And it's a part of living in France, and I really like it to be honest. I think it's nice. Yeah.
There's as being a New Yorker, right to the point. I'm only emailing you for this reason. So we can talk about all of the other things outside of this email. But the getting to the point and getting out is one thing. You can in English you can say, I agree with you. But en français, you can say, soyez sûr que je partage entièrement votre opinion, chère madame. Like, that's a lot of words to say, like,
I agree.
yeah, me too. So that's understanding what that means and what's appropriate when is something that we are still working out and figuring out and really understanding so that we can again continue to put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
Mm. So, but speaking about your more like everyday life, what is your favorite part about living in France?
My favorite part about living in France is being able to flex my language skills because you can see I have some, but I
So,
still need to go to the gym, man. So I'm able to make friends, and 3 to 4 sentences in, you say, well, his accent's pretty good, but he clearly is a fourth grader. So he has not really lived much life. So that's kind of the most rich part for me is being able to understand that I do know a great deal of this language and this culture, but there's still a vast majority that I just don't understand and I just have not been through the reps of. And every day I'm learning, I'm hitting the corners and the walls of what I know. And it's discovery, and that really is the most joyous part to me.
what about you?
My favorite part, yeah, my favorite part has been getting deeper into the culture and seeing how, things really do shut down the entire month of August. Folks really do expect to have their weekend and their evenings and dinner at home. And it's not just a myth. This is just the way it is. One of the surprising things, Damian and I were talking about this, one of the surprising things to me is that, lunch at restaurants is served between 12 and 2:30. After 2:30, the restaurant closes. And so there's a reason for that. And if you haven't had your lunch at the time when everyone has had their lunch, then, well, one, you've missed lunch, unless you go somewhere else. But second of all, it's like this is the time when everyone shuts down and has their meal and then goes back to work. So there's sort of like a community that is culturally based that experiencing that has been such a eye opener. So even though I'm French, it's like, wait, it's really true.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I must say that personally, this is one of my favorite things in France. It multiplies once you have children. Me and my husband, we have kids, and every day after school, all kids go to the park and they play until exactly 6:30. At 6, so every day after school, every child gets a goûter and eats something sweet, and they go to the park and then they play until 6:30. Then they go do their homework and there is a dinner at 7:30. It's like the whole country is on the same schedule. And it's so nice because it's so predictable, but then it also brings the sense of order to your life. You're not going to call someone at 8 p.m. because they're probably eating dinner. So it's like, but you can call someone who works at the office at 12:30 because they're on their lunch break. So it's like everything is so predictable, so beautifully predictable, and yet there is so much like exceptions from that, but usually you can live by those rules, and I really like it. And the August is my favorite part of the year because there is like it's so quiet and silent, and we live in a little town, and I swear there's like 10 people in our town in the month of August, and I just
I
enjoy the
believe that.
silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have a structure, so you can enjoy the structure and then also enjoy not being in the structure for a couple of weeks or maybe the month or whenever it is. Whenever you have sort of the bounds of culture, of behavior, of the way we do things, at some point in time, we're going to have to do away with that structure, and I'm just going to have to be a human being. Please get out of my face. I'm humaning right now. And that is something that is part of being in this land in this way. And that's something I really enjoy.
Yeah. And if you were to say, like, what would be the cultural differences that you still struggle with? Like, you are like, I wish it was like it's hard to accept.
I'm still figuring out my language things, and so my verbal acuity is something that I'm still working on. And so
Okay.
I can say verbal acuity in English, but I can't say that in French. So a lot of the time, I'm just standing there like,
Oh, sure.
uh, and as someone who's generally sure of himself, and even when I know I'm probably not doing the right thing, I'm sure I'm doing it. um, that is an uncomfortable thing for me to not be able to fully articulate myself to the person I'm speaking to, whether I say simple words, whether I say incredibly complex words, whether I split the difference, it doesn't matter. I know how to massage the language and get what I need out of the other person. That's not really something that is part of my toolkit here in France. I'm still, bumping against my borders of my language, and I err on the side of more formal and more structured. And even sometimes people are like, "Bro, relax. It's cool, man." And then we start talking a little bit more, and then we take it from there. So there's you have to sort of do the formalities and make sure that it's taken care of, and now you can speak as people.
Mm.
That's kind of one of the things that I'm still working on myself.
It's very interesting what you're saying because French language has so many levels of kind of familiarity. Like you would, this is how you speak in court. So not even to like a president, but in court, like when you address the this is how you
Mhm.
speak. And then to a teacher, and then to your parents-in-law or something, and then you go lower, and then your friends at the party, you speak in a completely different language. I mean, not completely different, but you are using different words. And I must say that I totally agree with you, Damian, because I tend to use more formal, but it's a little
Mhm.
bit like getting a little bit overdressed to a party rather than getting underdressed.
I
It's
still would rather be overdressed at a party. That's just me. I will have a tuxedo
exactly,
on at a cocktail party.
yeah, and it's I still believe that it's better to be overdressed than to show up wearing your flip-flops and then everyone is wearing stilettos, and you're like, that's weird. And sometimes I hear, especially like our younger clients, when they try to really like learn this young French language, but then they kind of speak like that to an older person. And this older person is like, what? Why are we yo-yoing each other? Like this is like not how we speak to me. So
Is the
it's
vous êtes mal élevé? Like, what is going on here?
yeah. No,
Oh,
don't talk to me like that. And then immediately the face changes and they vous voyez or something like. So it's
Mhm.
very funny. Do you think that it's apparently that people who are bilingual, they have a little bit of different personality when they speak one or the other language? What do you guys think? Because you're bilingual.
I swallowed my lips. I
well,
have no comment.
oh, really? I I I believe that's true. I'm trilingual. So I speak Spanish, English, and French, and I think that I feel more extroverted in Spanish, and I'm a little more hesitant in French, partly because of my capability, but partly because it is a more formal language. And I think that Damien is still Damien, no matter what language he's speaking, to be honest. But I do see that sort of, that sort of frustration moment where he's like, oh, wait, no, I'm really funny in English. Trust me. And so there's that, there's that moment of you can't share yourself fully because in the culture because you're not quite like fully fluent in either direction. Um, my cultural thing that I'm still trying to get my head around is also sort of out of that formality that it's harder to connect with a stranger and just sort of meet up for a cup of coffee right after you've met them. We have a dog. So after you've met someone, on a dog walk 3 times in a row, you can't just say, hey, want to go have a cup of coffee? That would be uh sacre bleu, shocking, you know?
But that was my next question. Like, how are your social interactions? How did they evolved between New York and Paris? Like, how is the social scene? Like, making new friends? Like, how how would you what would you say about that?
Yeah, that's still a thing that's coming together.
Okay.
Because again, in English, I can be incredibly formal or I can be incredibly informal. However, I'm still engaging and I'm I'm as engaging as the moment is calling for. And I know when I get to be able to be less formal or more formal, or here's somebody I should be less formal with, but I'm going to be more formal, or the vice versa. So it's really one of those things that we're still getting used to. I know I specifically am still getting used to that because I just need to just continue to learn more and more and more of the language. And then once I have the command of it, I get to pick. And I'm unconcerned with what you think of me because I know this is right. So let's have this conversation. And if we're not, then we're not.
But she's talking about making
Good
friends.
day. Well, again,
Yeah, but this is
good
this is very
day.
on point. But
Yeah, yeah.
because like you make friends in a different way with the lady who is probably in her 70s and she also walks the dog in the park, and a mom of two that is also walking a dog, and then someone who is your age and in your life situation. I understand that you just talk to them in a different way. And then the jokes. Yeah, I'm so funny in Polish. I
Right,
always
you're
tell
hilarious in Polish, I'm sure.
You're funny in English.
Well, also true, also true. But I'm sure
but
in
I'm
your
funnier in
native tongue,
Polish.
yeah, no, in your native tongue, you have a different speed. You have a different set of context. You have a different set of things to pull from to
Yeah,
you
the
to
cultural
make you
references. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's it's all part of the adjustment, and that's what I'm saying. I just got to keep learning, and once I know more, I get to choose what I use.
Mm. What
And
about you,
so,
Angela?
yeah. Oh, wait, go ahead.
I said, what about you, Angela? And you
Oh,
started
oh, oh,
talking.
oh,
So
gotcha,
carry
gotcha.
on.
Sorry. I was like so excited to so so there's what I like about Paris is that it's such a sort of crossroads and international city. So even though building out our sort of Paris specific community is, one little step at a time. It's only been 4 or 5 months. We've had friends come through, having a layover on their way to another country in Europe. So we've been able to see folks for lunch and for dinner that we wouldn't have even necessarily have seen in the States because here in Paris, people want to come here. And then people move here. So there's folks from college who have been living here for 10 years. And it's like, wait, you live in Paris? Tell me about your journey. So there's a reconnection that I wasn't really expecting by moving to Paris.
What I personally like a lot about no longer living in your hometown or your home country is the meetings are so much more intentional. So when I go back home, I would see people more intentionally than I would see them when I lived there. It was on the occasion of or whatever, everyone has their life, but when I go back, it becomes the occasion to meet. Hey, I'm in town and we know that I'm only there once per year, so we always take time to meet. And it's the same when they come here. When my family comes to visit, we live together. So it's a different thing because you live in the same house and you have morning coffee together, and then you sometimes have a like late night drink together, and it's something that you would never have if you were still in your hometown. So yes, you don't meet them every day, you don't see them every day, but once you see them, the quality of those meetings is just so beautiful and so bonding. I really think that only expats can experience that.
That's true. That's special. Good point.
It is
Yeah.
very special,
Yeah,
and
very
I think you will experience that soon. I think you started already seeing that.
Yeah.
It's intentional, and the quality time, it's really like as good as it gets. So yeah, so I asked about your social life. You said that it's still pretty early on. But I had a question. It's a little bit about working with us. I wanted to see like how first of all, like what made you decide, how do you say that in English? How did you decide to ask someone to help you set up your business in France? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
It was a
Absolutely.
very grammatically complicated sentence for me to say, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
why did you
I see
ask
what you
someone
mean.
for help?
Yeah.
there was some conditionals in there, and yeah, no, that's difficult. I get
But here we are.
it.
Yeah. So why did we decide to get someone to help us?
Yes.
Because I had the language barrier. We knew that we needed help, because it felt like everything we were reading and what people were saying to us is that it's so hard. And as you're trying to get established, where's the grocery store? Where's the best place to get a haircut? Um, how am I going to like get paid by my clients? There's only so many hours in the day. Let's call a relocation agency and get this one fundamental foundational piece handled so that we can focus on our daily lives and know that it's been done as quickly and correctly as it needs to be done for the next steps.
Yeah, well, I'm only a layperson, so
Yeah.
it would be great if someone who does this holiday every day is doing this very specific, very
Yeah.
important business-based foundation set of work. And I figure things out as I go along. And that's not necessarily the type of attitude or the type of precision that's needed to ensure that your business has the proper frameworks to be able to command money in this town, to be able to command funds. And so being able to outsource that part of our brain to someone else that we trust, that we understand are good people that are in living their own family lives and growing in their own ways. Hey, you can help me out? Great, cool. Listen, I need this taken care of. Also, can you maybe help me figure this other thing out? Anyway, I don't know. I'll get back to you. Thank you. And now I have other things to do, more a different set of pressing matters, because I've been able to hand off a good chunk of this task to someone else who's familiar with this.
Who knows it? Yeah. And it's familiar, and it's not necessarily this sort of insurmountable thing because you guys have done this for numerous clients over decades. And it's just like, all right, no, I know that it'll get done with a minimum of stress.
So how did it go? what role did your friend and parents play in it? Like, how is it
So
going? Still, I
yeah,
think.
no, well, it is still going. To be fair, it is France, right?
Yes.
Well, so we reached out to you guys. We heard back from Liz. We set up an appointment with David, and David had helped us set up um uh, auto entrepreneur, micro entreprise. But that first conversation we had with David, there was just this really great mind meld where so David was like, wait, you guys, you need this, you need this. Actually, instead of doing it the way that you think you need to do it, my experience says that, the two of you can be conjoint collaborateur, you found one business instead of two businesses. And just the way he was able to sort of get to the meat of what we needed and give us something that, in all honesty, like the paperwork turned around within 10 days.
Mm.
I was shocked. And so that getting that started just at the end of July, beginning of August, it gave me just that sort of time to like look around, see what we needed to do next in September. So
Yes.
it's, and then we reached out to you guys and we're still working on some of the final little steps, but at least getting out of the gate happened so smoothly. I can't emphasize that enough.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that David knows about it.
sure.
And so now, when the business is up and running, what is the most rewarding part of running a business?
The most rewarding part of running the business is actually being able to serve your client. And that's really why you're in the business in the first place. I want to connect with people. I want to help patients feel seen, heard, and understood. I want to be able to supply a space that no other person can do in the same way in which I do it. That is the most rewarding, enriching, satisfying part of having the structure because I know that it's all set up properly. All of the T's are crossed, all of the I's are dotted, and we made sure that it was right. Now, the only thing I have to take care of is client relations, and I can do that. So being able to outsource some of the nuts and bolts of the enterprise to someone who this is what they do. Now you have a little bit more room to do what you do and get the clients. And so that's one of the things that it makes me feel way more at ease because I have a team and hey, I passed you the ball and you do what you do well. And if you need something else from me, pass me the ball back and I'll take care of that. No problem. I'm also going to give this right back to you because we need to score. We need to win the game. So it's very important to have people that you trust around you and that do good work and that the work stands on its own and it works for itself. So that's part of what keeps me at ease. And when I'm at ease, all of the things that make me me and that make me able to get clients like that are able to come to the surface and to show and to really be able to start to do that dance where we can work with each other well and happy.
That's amazing. It's amazing. What about
It
you?
is amazing, isn't it?
I mean, it's amazing because I could have said the same thing. It's the same for us. Like, you said it, but I would probably said it in a much
Right.
simpler way because I'm not, such a beautiful speaker. But it's when you're in service, you serve and you make sure that you've served and solved the problem and helped. And I totally agree that this is beautiful aspect of doing this job. What about you, Andrea? How is what is it
Yeah.
in it for you?
So the most rewarding thing I think it has been just being able to well, like Damien says, you're able to make your client's life better, right? But it's been rewarding to have my schedule and to instead of going to an organization where I'm part of a team, part of uh, a cog in a wheel, so to speak. Now this is us. This is the two of us. Um, we're so invested in what it can be and what it will be, thinking longer term. That's really satisfying and empowering, and you're really able, I feel like, to step into your ownership of your career. So this is me, right? As a person who's worked in an office.
Yeah.
Damien's had this before. So now we're working together officially, as opposed to, me advising him as to what he should be doing, advising. So it's rewarding to actually be with somebody for so long, but now also to have something that we are building that's fully independent of our love. It's actually business as well. I don't know how you feel about that, but there you
Again, I recognize a lot of my story in your story because my story and David's is very similar to yours. I used to be a corporate girl for a while, and then I stopped doing that and I joined forces with David, and here we are. And after all these years of running a business together, we're still together. And I think this is the biggest success because and
Yeah.
and when I hear your story, I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly how it feels because it feels amazing to have your personal life and professional life being the project that you both have put all the energy in and bring forward. And this is very rewarding. I totally agree. It's beautiful. Uh, do you have any advice to someone who is thinking about starting a business in France?
Know your value, and not that's not know your worth. It's you'll get to the worth, but why would someone want to work with you anyway in any language? Yeah, turn that up. Yeah, do more of that. Yeah, expand more of that. Make yourself a better version of that so that you can hit the ground running whenever you do move.
Mm.
Wow. I'm like, yeah, know your value, damn it.
Yeah, I'm good at speaking. That's what I do.
I mean, I would say that there's a really interesting framework. Again, I'm saying that the bureaucracy, France is actually really business friendly. And having watched Damien start a business in the US, is it LLC or
It was an S corp.
it was an S corp? Watching him build it in the States and seeing the work that he had to go through to stay within the parameters and the law and all that stuff. Versus here in France, there's so many different ways to be an entrepreneur, to start a business, and the formalities are, at least, like I said earlier, they're listed on a website. It feels like there's the government, the French culture is supportive of just a regular person who wants to make a little bit of extra money without necessarily creating more paperwork in their lives. Maybe on like the bigger, corporate scale, that's something obviously I don't know about, but it's really felt like business entrepreneur positive in a way that I wasn't expecting. So, like Damien says, if you know your worth and you really want to move abroad, there's frameworks in France that seem to be cognizant of the fact that there's a human who is trying to make a living.
Yeah, I I think this is a very, very good point. And on top of that, you haven't experienced that yet, but for example, the tax office. I remember when I moved here, I was an expat, so someone was doing my taxes on my life. I was just an innocent girl who was just signing a paper once per year. That's it. And then when I switched into a local contract, it kind of slipped my mind that I have to do it for like 2 years. And I woke up one day and I was like, "Oh, horror, horror, horror. Oh my God, I have to go to prison or something." I went there and I'm so sorry. And they were like, "You're fine." I was like, "What do you mean I'm fine?" I was like, "Okay, thank you for coming. We'll catch up. This is your total." I was like, I I don't have that much money. I'm so sorry, ma'am. And then she saw my face. I was like, "Don't worry. How much you can pay per month, and you will just pay over the next 12 months a little bit, and you'll be good." And I'm like, "Okay, so and what is how much the penalties?" "No, there will be no penalties as long as you keep paying." And I'm like, "All right, this is what?" So
It's
this is something
shocking.
unheard of in my culture. I would probably have to pay double or something, horrifying. And I see it every day whenever, we go to a bank and we talk to them about our projects, and they're very, very understanding. There is a lot of this human aspect of running a business and being a real person. There is an actual website for people who forgot or made a mistake. As soon as you realize that you made a mistake, there is a website called oops.gov.fr where you go and you declare that you made a mistake and you're very, very sorry. And they are very understanding. It's called
I love
oops.gov.fr.
that.
And it's so beautiful because it understands that we are just human beings. We are not huge corporations. We are human beings who are doing our best to try to not to forget about this or that or the other. And sometimes we do forget. And when we forget, there is oops.gov that we can go to and make up. And even if we don't go there, we go somewhere else and we explain, and there is someone who can wave it off. There's an actual person you can talk to, and they will be like, "All right, just don't do it again." So this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Okay, what's next? What are the projects for you two? What's cooking?
I'm continuing to expand. So now that I have the structure, one of my clients is like, "Great, now I can get you into my system. You'll be hearing from one of my colleagues." Fantastic. I'm a creator. I make videos. I have a YouTube channel. So I'm continuing to build my community and continuing to pump out videos and stamp out the thing that makes me me. And the more I do that, the more opportunities come to me. So I continue to grow the flower, and all of the bees come to it. And working with you has really helped put a lot of the concern that I would have squarely on my shoulders or my wife's shoulders, to have it be shared with other members of the team to make sure that we get the best result.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm so happy to see that it's going in the right direction. Congratulations.
Thank
No,
you.
it
Thank you
is.
guys.
No,
Seriously.
really, thank you. You help us be us. And without needing to read that form, did I do this right? Oh, I didn't know I didn't need to do that. No, someone else on the team is here to be like, "Yeah, no, you really need to do that. Hey, no, you forgot to do that. Okay, no problem. We'll take care of it." Blah, blah. The having someone else in your corner who believes in you as much as you believe in yourself and will allow you to be your best self, that's what you need. And that's why you have your friend in Paris to really help expand your world in Paris and your life in this town, country, place.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I'm very happy to hear that you consider us a team member, because that's how we would like to be considered. And you can always reach out and drop us an email or call us, and we would be happy, because there will be a day when you will receive a mysterious letter from the mysterious office, and you will have no idea what to do about it, and then you can send it our way, and we will hopefully know what to do with it and how to help you solve it. And so
My objective is to win the game. Okay? So I need a team around me in
yeah.
order to help make that happen, in order for me to be my best self and do what I need to do on the floor or on the field or on the court so that I can run the plays. Like, I'm still using the sports
I'm
metaphor.
like, well, he's down on
Like,
it.
come on now, come on now. I'm still using the sports metaphor because
Yeah.
it's when you come from an entertainment background like myself and you show up on a commercial set, you are one of 60 people. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes. There's the light guy, and there's five light guys, and there's the producer, and there's five other producers. And if you're lucky enough to get one of the spots to be in front of the camera, you do that long enough, you truly understand the value of the team and the value of doing what you do to the best of your ability so that you can just drop in and everyone plays together well and is focused on winning the game. And that's why I say, you're on the team. Like, I trust you to know what you know and to do what you do, just as you trust me to do the same. And that way we can all win.
That's well said. Well said. What about you, Andrea? Do you like what are the projects that you are working on? And yeah,
Yeah, I think finding more clients, getting established, sort of getting more French integrated, right? Certainly.
Mhm.
But no, on the business front, it's getting that next step of, hey, we're past our first trimester. What's the year-long plan? What's the 2-year plan for us? And who wants our business? No, not who wants our business. Who wants us to help them with their business, I guess.
That sounds great. I'm really, really like cheering for you, and I really like, fingers crossed, because your story is just amazing. And yeah, I'm happy we were able to help in this a little part of it, and I hope we'll be able to help you in the future whenever you need us. We're here,
Yeah.
proud team members,
Yeah.
and yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Justina.
Thank you, Justina, for even wanting to hear our story and know a little bit more about that and to where you fit in on our team because that's important and
Yeah.
it's one of the things that helps us do what we do to the best of our ability.
Yeah, I think, this you can't do it alone. Like no matter, I mean, you can, but it takes longer and it's more stressful, right? And so no matter how much research you do, how prepared you are, when you arrive in a new place, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to have culture shock. And like David says, having a team, another person on the team to help you take care of things that you don't even know are coming are so helpful while you're dealing with, you know, family, work, CPAM, taxes, dealing with folks back home, dealing with folks over, all over. Um, there's no way to do it by yourself without losing a part of yourself. So you may as well rely on a community and build a community.
Yeah, it takes a village, not
It
only
does.
to raise a child, but to open a business in France and to have a life here.
Yeah, it's hard to be an expat or an immigrant, whatever. You're really changing everything about yourself
Yeah,
rather than being yourself with, you're gonna battle if you try to be yourself in a different place. You are part of their culture now. You're not bringing your culture to here to, you know, change them. That's rude. No, you have to look at the situational cues and recognize that you're part of, you moved here for a reason. So stop trying to force it to fit what you think it should be.
Yeah, exactly. We are now the foreign body, literally like the foreign body is in here, and we need to adapt, and we need to, but we can also
Yeah.
bring something super cool to the table. So it's a very interesting journey being an immigrant in France, or expat, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, okay. So I thank you again for your time and for your honesty and for telling about your journey. And I'm really like wishing you both all the best. And I really hope to see you again on our event. It was so nice to meet you in person. I, I,
Likewise.
it's so much different. It's you meet on a different level when you meet someone, you know,
Yeah.
in real in person. So yeah, I hope to see you next time. And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you.